Alors, bonjour, bienvenue à ton tuto de texte, de la lecture. Aujourd'hui, on va regarder un peu de franglais. So thanks for coming to your text tuto, your reading tuto. And today we're going to do something that's a little bit of fun, really. Don't take it too seriously because it isn't meant that way. It's from this book, an old book from the 1980s, which is called Let's Parlez-Franglais. And if you can see, like from the front there, you can see there's a little joke on the front there. So this is a journalist in the 1980s, a British journalist. He used to publish these in the newspaper. And basically, he would mix English and French for comedic reasons. And we're going to have a look at how that works or doesn't. Okay, so it's called Leçon 24. You can already see leçon. It's not spelled like that in French, by the way. It's L-E-C-O-N, yeah, with a little cedilla underneath it. 24, well, that's correct. So you're going to have to just pick out what's right and what's wrong here. Okay, so un nip dans l'air, and if you're calling in from the States, you know, there might be a little bit of Britishisms in here as well, which make it even more complicated. So a nip in the air, un nip dans l'air. That's not French, un nip, and what it means is it's a bit cold, it's a bit chilly. So let's have a look and see how we can translate this into full French and just appreciate the humor. So we've got premier monsieur et deuxième monsieur so, in the dialogue. So, il fait nippy ce matin. Okay, so, and it's funny actually, I chose this one for weather because even though weather is something that we talk about every single time we see each other, because we're all intrigued by, you know, the vagaries of the weather and how it affects us, I find that most people find it difficult to find the vocabulary at their fingertips to really talk about the weather. So that's something to bear in mind. Anyway, this is not correct French, okay? It's franglais. So, il fait nippy ce matin. So nippy is English, obviously. So in French, that would be il fait un peu frais. Il fait un peu frais ce matin. Deuxième monsieur. Oui, il fait parky ce matin. That's another English word for it's cold, yes. Oui, il fait bien froid. Il fait bien froid ce matin. It's another way of saying that. Oui, mais pas exactement ce qu'on appellerait chaud. That's correct. That's French. So yes, not exactly what we would call warm. Non, une touche de frost, je crois. Obviously, frost is not French, yes. Un petit gel, je crois. So no, a little bit of frost, I think. Oui, surtout dans les suburbs, le forecast l'a dit. So especially in the suburbs, but that's not French. The forecast said. So how do you say suburbs in French? Yeah, dans les banlieues ou à l'extérieur de la ville, I would say probably they'd say for this. L'été a fini maintenant. So summer's finished now. Now, how would you, that's not correct French. Do you know what the correct French would be? L'été est fini. Yes, l'été est fini. It's with être. L'été est fini maintenant. Oui, et l'automne a commencé. Yes, and autumn has started. That's correct. That's correct. So this is the thing about this, is some of it's right on proper French and most of it isn't. Okay, well. So how do you say well in French? Alors, yeah. Alors, or donc, or du coup. You can use all of those. Alors, donc, du coup. Alors, sorry, well, c'est ça, n'est-ce pas? Well, that's it, isn't it? Is what they're trying to say here. On voit le drawing in des soirs. Drawing in being is sort of like, you know, that it's getting darker earlier. Alors, bah, c'est ce que c'est quoi. Hein? C'est comme ça, quoi. Hein? Is how you'd say that in French. C'est comme ça, quoi. On voit que la nuit tombe plus tôt des soirs. Yeah? La nuit tombe. So night falls earlier. Oui, c'est le drawing in des soirs. Et les jours qui deviennent plus courts. So oui, la nuit tombe plus tôt le soir. And then this is correct. And the days are becoming shorter. Okay. Absolument. Quand je me lève pour le news à 7 heures, c'est presque dark. So, so we've obviously got to pick out the English in there. So absolument. So when I get up for the news in the morning at 7, it's nearly dark. So absolument. Quand je me lève pour les infos ou les nouvelles ou les actualités, à 7 heures. Il fait presque nuit. Il fait. Now, the verb of weather is faire. And when we say whether it's light or dark as well, it's faire. So, il fait presque nuit. Marquez-vous, l'été était rotten. Pluie, pluie, pluie. So did you notice that the summer was terrible? Rain, rain, rain. And it would be, avez-vous remarqué que l'été était affreux? Affreux is the rotten, or épouvantable, épouvantable. And then this is right, pluie, 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 rain, rain, rain. Marquez-vous septembre était superbe. Again, this would be, so did you notice that September was wonderful? Avez-vous remarqué que septembre était superbe? Oui, mais il fait, sorry, up here, chilly ce matin. So chilly, how would you say chilly? Il fait un peu frais. Or you can do it as a negative if you like. Il ne fait pas très bon. Il fait pas très bon. So you could say it's not too warm. Yeah, so il fait pas très bon. Il fait pas too chaud. Hein? That's another way of saying you can always use a negative. You know? So il ne fait pas too chaud. It means it's cold. Oui, il n'y a pas de chaleur dans le soleil. Yeah, there's no warmth in the sun. Du soleil, I would say. Il n'y a pas de chaleur du soleil. That's a literal translation. I mean, it's quite funny because these are the literal translations from English to French. Oui, c'est ce week-end qu'on a le put-back des cloques. Oh, question. Oui, c'est ce week-end qu'on a le put-back des cloques, which means, are we putting back the clocks this weekend? Oui, c'est ce week-end qu'on change d'heure. Qu'on change d'heure. We change the hour. Non, c'est le week-end passé. No, it was last weekend. But that would be non c'était, because it's past, yeah? Non, c'était le week-end passé. Ou le week-end dernier, if you prefer. Ah, c'est pour ça que j'arrive en retard chaque soir chez moi. Oh, that's why I get home late every evening. And then he's got, well, that's what it is, isn't it? You know, well, that's how it is. Yeah, that's what they say. Well, c'est ça, n'est-ce pas? En français, it would be alors, c'est comme ça, quoi. C'est alors, c'est comme ça, quoi. Il sera peut-être un beau jour plus tard. So what they're trying to say there is it'll be a nice day later on. Now, sera is the wrong verb to talk about the weather. What verb do we want to use for weather? Faire. So we're going to put that in the future now. Il fera peut-être plus beau plus tard. Ou il fera peut-être beau plus tard. You don't need the jour. Non, le forecast a dit un jour damp and raw et raw. So the forecast said it's going to be damp and raw. Non, les prévisions. Forecast is les prévisions ou la météo a dit un jour humide. And raw is a funny word in French, would be rude. When you're talking about the weather. If you're talking about food, it's cru. But you probably, in this sense, would use rude. Rude doesn't mean being rude. Oh, il sera peut-être un beau hiver plus tard. Oh, it will be perhaps a nice winter later. So, on aura peut-être un beau hiver cette année. Voilà. Non, le forecast long range, longer range, a dit un hiver tough et mean, avec neige brutale et 1000 crocus morts. So, can you have a go at putting that into proper French? Right, so non, la météo ou les prévisions, either way, yeah. Lointain, ou plus loin, if you like, we'll say further away, plus loin, a dit un hiver difficile et cruel, perhaps, you might have found other words, avec une neige brutale, des grosses neiges, and 1000 crocus morts. There is another word for crocus in French, but I double checked, and you can actually say crocus as well. So 1,000 dead crocuses. Vous avez mis de l'antifreeze dans votre engine. So, vous avez mis de l'antigel. That's easy. L'antigel dans votre moteur. Non. Vous avez fait le lagging et le double glazing et le booking du ski vac et le Christmas shopping. Right. Have a go. See if you can have a go at turning that into French. How could you say that in French? Because obviously it's just full of English, isn't it? Lagging would be like insulation. Okay, let's have a go together. So, non, vous avez fait l'insulation et le double vitrage. So, I know it's fenêtre when you have a window, but the general word for glass, for windows, is vitre. So, le double vitrage et la réservation de vos vacances au ski et le shopping de Noël. Voilà. Non, non. Moi non plus, me neither. Mais j'ai fait le lagging pour le crocus. Mais j'ai fait l'insulation pour les crocus. Et moi, j'ai fait le send-away pour une offre dans le Radio Times. 6 paires de mittens Shetland style, garantie de missing fingers, seulement 45 livres, édition limitée, item de collector. So this is a bit of a joke from its time, really, and also a bit British, I'm afraid, as well. So he says, et moi, j'ai fait le send-away. Donc, send-away would be, you know, I order something by post. Yeah? So, et moi, j'ai commandé quelque chose pour une offre spéciale. And this is a magazine, an English magazine, the Radio Times. 6 paires de gants du style Shetland, garantie d'avoir des doigts qui manquent, seulement 45 livres. Édition limitée, item de collector. That would be French. Well, c'est ça, n'est-ce pas? And how did we say that? Well, c'est ça, n'est-ce pas? How did we say that properly in French? Oui, c'est comme ça, quoi. Hein? Oui, c'est comme ça, quoi. It's nice to be able to say those sorts of things because it's a little interjection in a conversation. Breu, il fait froid ce matin. That works. That's proper French. Yeah, il fait froid. Now we got it right. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. Oui, ce n'est pas le temps pour un singe de cuivre. Ah, voilà mon bus. I don't know what that means. Yes, it's not the weather for a copper monkey, which I don't know why they said that. Ah, voilà mon bus. Au revoir. Au revoir. So a little bit of British humor translated into French. If you got it, great. If you didn't, I apologize for the localness of it. And also of its age, because it was from the 1980s. But I hope you enjoyed that. And also it's interesting, isn't it, to compare how we translate things directly into French and what they come out as. And actually how we've got to start thinking, well, actually, they say things differently in French, the different language. Anyway, je vous souhaite une très bonne journée. Et merci d'être venu. Et puis, à la prochaine alors. Merci beaucoup. Merci. Au revoir. Au revoir.